Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bourbon Turntable's first live show. We're just a couple minutes late. Sorry about that, but we have a great show in store for you. We are the show that blends the love of music with the love of whiskey. And tonight, we have with us Alan Bishop on Alan Bishop Day. I mean, what else? What more could you ask for?
The most ridiculous day of the year. And also, before we start, I feel like I should apologize to Drew Crowley because Drew and I don't know each other that well. Right? We know each other, but we don't know each other that well. Drew, I am sorry for the future social credit score that is coming in this country that you're now going to be pinged for knowing me and appearing on a podcast with me. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm not sure you could do worse for me than I've done for myself. I welcome it. Let's bring it on.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So what we want to start with tonight is I want to find out what everybody is drinking to start the day, start the evening. We will start with our guest of honor, Mr. Alan Bishop. What are you drinking, sir?
Oh, I'm making great decisions on this International Alan Bishop Day. So I've got an Old Forester single barrel strength from Barrel and Age. This is their number 2 selection, their second barrel selection, and this is sitting at 128.1, which sounds a whole lot like I ain't going to work tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
I don't think that bottle survives the night for sure.
I'll tell you, I got this on Monday. That's the problem with I got this on Monday, and this is where we're at on Wednesday. It's nothing positive has come out of this bottle, except for the fact that I will tell you, it's either a positive thing that this is the closest thing to Old Forester signature / bottled and bond I've ever had, or maybe a very negative thing that's the closest to Old Forester signature / bottled and bond that I've had in the past 5 years.
All right. Well, you've broken the first rule of Alan Bishop Day, and you're not drinking an Alan Bishop inspired whiskey. So let's try somebody else. And Drew, what do you have?
Too cunty.
I'm drinking my own whiskey.
It's like the band wearing your own T-shirt on stage. You can't. You don't go there. You don't do that. So
it's not even that. It's the roadie wearing the band's T-shirt and being like, I'm the backup guitar player that sits on the side of the stage that you don't see but you hear. That's the guy I am.
So talking about roadies, when I was at the Collective Soul concert a couple of weeks ago, Ed goes to toss his 12-string off stage, and the dude just about dropped it. I mean, he made a great last-second save with the guitar strap, kept it from hitting the floor, but everybody, the whole audience, you just heard this big, gasp, just go across like.
Nice. Yikes!
That could have been disaster right there, but.
All right, Drew, what do you have, sir?
I've got a little Matty Glad this evening. One of my favorite whiskeys of the year. Just a little foreshadowing, probably, of a forthcoming show.
I hear you.
From us, but I had to go on the hunt for this, Alan. I mean, I searched my favorite little honey holes in Louisville and couldn't quite get my hands on one. They either didn't stock it or it was very much of the time sold out. So I finally found one over in Corydon, Indiana, on Monday afternoon. So.
There's 2 ways. There's 2 ways for a distiller to play that, right? You can either say, well, we're not big enough, we can provide to everybody, or you can just be like, it's allocated. And I'm going with it's allocated.
It's allocated. Yes. All right. Benjamin, what do you have, sir?
Sipping on the old Hoosier apple brandy.
Yep. I had some of that this week.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. It's a great time of year for it.
I have the whiskey of the year, Lee W. Sinclair Iconoclast. And apparently someone has their, is that the milk in Oreos, Alan?
Shut up, Kevin. I don't drink milk. I drink absinthe like a real man.
Oh, well, hey, what I would like us to do, it is obviously Alan Bishop Day, but there are some other events that we want to honor this day. So we'll raise a glass first of all to Mr. Tom Petty,
right.
who was born this day in 1950, and so cheers to Tom Petty.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Fucking Tom Petty, one of the greats of all time, that's for sure. Whether it's his solo stuff, the Heartbreakers, or the Traveling Wilburys.
Some of my favorite songs are Tom Petty songs, and one of my
Absolutely.
favorite albums is that Wildflower album.
Yeah, that album, and even the outtakes from that album.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Yep. Everything about it was fantastic.
Agreed.
The other thing that I want us to toast is these guys.
Fuck
Leonard
yes.
Skinner, 1977 on October 20th, their plane went down, killing guitarist Steve Gaines, his sister, backup singer Cassie Gaines, and lead vocalist Ronnie Van Zant. And from that point, the band took a 10-year hiatus, got back together, but was never quite the same. So cheers to Leonard Skinner. Free bird.
Skinner.
You got one more in there, I know for sure. I don't know if you caught it or not. Do you know?
What is that?
Anniversary of the Black Sabbath reunion album.
Oh,
Live album. The double LP Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne back in the day, right? The first tour I happened to catch as a kid that my parents were dumb enough to let me go to with my teenage friends a state away, right?
yeah.
Where I met a long-term friendly bootlegger who I may not have met him the first time there, but who may or may not have also have been previously an elementary school teacher of mine.
Yeah.
And bought many Black Sabbath bootlegs and many Rush bootlegs from.
All right.
So, okay. So let me ask you this. One of the things that one of our shows early on was what was your first album? We also talked about what your first concert was. So for you, what would your answers to those questions be?
Oh man, the first two albums, twofold. So Black Sabbath Paranoid and Rush Moving Pictures. And they were both given to me because my dad was so tired of hearing Paranoid and Tom Sawyer, right? That it wasn't that he wanted to give me the albums. It was that he was so burnt out on those albums, you know, that he didn't have any choice but to get rid of them. And then, you know, a little aside from that, but there is a picture that one of these days I'll upload to social media. One of my I've said this many times. I either have the greatest parents in the world or the worst parents in the world. I don't know. But one of my baby pictures is me and my little not crib, but the little playpen thing, and it's me next to a set of Pioneer 12s, right? And my dad's badass stereo system. And the next thing to me is the speaker, and then the record collection, which is mostly AC/DC, Rush, and Aerosmith, and then the liquor shelf within reach of the toddler Alan Bishop, right? Just reminding you of where you're going in life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those were the first two albums I ever had. And then when I was, I think this is a fun question too, and Kevin, especially for people in your age range, and Benji, maybe you too. And I'm a little bit younger than you guys, not a ton younger, obviously, but not even album. What's the first 45 you had? What's the first single you had, right? And so when I was 4 years old, my uncle died in a motorcycle accident. I inherited his 45 collection when I didn't know what it was. And I remember dropping the needle on one thing and one thing only repeatedly, and that was Pictures of Matchstick Men by Status Quo. Just over and over and over again. Because I thought when I was 4 years old, I thought that was the coolest song that was ever written, and I still think it's one of the coolest songs that was ever written to this day.
Yeah. Now, the first 45 that I bought was I Want to Be Your Lover by Prince.
Fuck yeah. That's good.
I've still got that somewhere. I've got to find it. I've got to find it. But that's a tremendous song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got
first.
one of the other favorites that I have out of that little collection was and I'm not listening to it for years, and I still have those up at Mom and Dad's house. But I got the 45 of a little known Queen song that was released as a single and that didn't catch on. It should have, and it just shows the kind of taste that people had at the time. But Get Down, Make Love.
Yep.
What a great song. It should have caught on. Should have been on every greatest hits, every best of album that Queen ever made.
Nice.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So first 45 for me, it was actually a hand-me-down from my uncle, but it was one I played the absolute shit out of, and that was a Creedence, Who Will Stop the Rain.
Yeah.
That's like, that was me shifting from like having a little record player, being a kid, listening to freaking Disney and whatever the hell, whatever else you got from being a little kid with those little read along books and whatnot, to my first like real rock and roll 45 and Creedence, and I couldn't get enough of it. So
that's awesome. Drew, did 45s even ever enter the conversation for you?
Just barely, and
cassettes did it all.
Only because my grandfather passed away and left us some, and so the first ones I remember listening to, there was a Queen record, and then the one that we wore out as kids growing up was the Star Wars Christmas special. I'm ashamed to say. Nice. So we had "What Do You Get a Wookiee for Christmas?" and something about R2D2 and something. Yeah, it was a disaster. First 45 I ever bought, shocker to no one, was Rustin Kelly. Yeah. And that was as an adult. Much later, I've kind of gone back into the vinyl thing as an adult. But yeah, that was kind of missed me by about 15 years on either side.
Yeah.
But it missed me too. I just inherited it enough to be like, I got all these things. Somebody please for Christmas give me a thing to play these things, right?
Right.
Which now like. So yeah, now the kids these days, it would be the equivalent of maybe you had a grandparent that had a Laserdisc player and you got like Laserdisc Star Wars, right? Like, what is this giant CD thing that's happening here?
Right.
So, but you're curious and you want to play with those things. So, and we're all a generation removed from the 38s, right?
Right.
Can you imagine throwing on a 38 and that scratchy, just nasty living fucking thing, Robert Johnson just coming through your speakers and reminding you what life's all about, right?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. And my younger son, I was playing an album, and first side of the album played, and I said, "Okay," I said, "Sam, go turn that over to the other side." And he looked at me like, "There's another side?" He didn't know. He didn't know.
And as he gets older, he'll learn that vinyl, not to be sacrilegious here, Kevin, but you'll appreciate this joke. Vinyl is sexier than digital music, right? But the problem is the vinyl side runs out, and you got to stop fucking and get up and turn the record over before you can continue fucking. It's a thing.
So how often do you do that on Alan Bishop Eve at night as you're visiting all the moms?
Well, it really depends on whether they're into classical music or if they're into pop music. I mean, you can get some strokes in on some Britney Spears and some Outkast, but you really just want to lay that pipe. You got to get in there on some Led Zeppelin stuff.
I'm going to refrain from making jokes about Alan not lasting till it gets to side B, but
very rarely does it happen, sir. What happens is side B is me sitting on my porch smoking a cigarette, just in regret. Just me sitting there going, "You're a horrible fucking person. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
We can mark the time of the show 13 minutes and 15 seconds when I lost all illusion of control. So,
oh yes. Totally you should. I'm surprised, and we can just lay this out there for next year. I'm surprised that there was not a betting pool in the shocker group of how long until Alan just makes this into a complete shit show. And I'm just going to throw this out there as an industry standard. Thank you, Chris Morris. Thank you very much, sir, for bottling a single barrel at 128 proof. This is your fault. This is your fault.
So send all hate mail to Chris Morris.
Mm,
I can
Yes.
do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So, all right, I want to ask you another question, and we want to learn about this guy.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. God almighty. Look at that shit. Wearing a Marilyn Manson shirt, like fucking looking at his buddies like, take me seriously. Look in my eye right now. You know what's funny? What's funny about that picture is that was taken by a guy named Dave Carty, very good family friends, lives right down the road, not a mile away from here. I just did a little business deal with him here recently. And he took that as a promo photo for his little studio he had down here. The dude has legit credentials. He literally did engineering on the Days of the New Green album. That's kind of one of the ties I had into that whole ordeal and whatever. He posted that on his website back in like 2003. And he posted it as look into my eye. So I was looking at my bass player friend saying, hey, pay attention to what I'm saying.
Right.
What's actually happening there is I had to scratch my fucking eye, right? But he caught me midway and it looks like, take me fucking seriously, right? But that's not what it is. Literally me being like, I got a fucking eye bug right now. I can't fucking just give me a minute, you know? Yeah, that guy, I'll tell you about that guy real quick. That guy was a fucking dick. He was a douche. Not Dave Carty, Alan Bishop. And he still is. But he's matured past this take me seriously fucking thing into some sort of jester. Some sort of the darkest possible side of distillation that you could possibly go down, right? A little bit of why do you guys take yourself so seriously, right? Why do any of us in this distillation industry take ourselves seriously? We are providing a doorway into some other realm, some other world, right? But it's not that serious. This is supposed to be fun. That's what it's all supposed to be, and that's why I'm on here tonight. That's why I'm talking to you three. That's why the three of us are friends. We can make fun of ourselves, right? I'm dressed up as fucking children of the corn right now, right? I mean, nothing I say should ever be taken seriously in any way, shape, or form, all the way down to my distillation philosophy. It should be torn apart, torn down, make me answer the hard questions, right? And that's that boy that you see in that picture would not have been okay with that. And if I got to go back in time right now and talk to that 21, 22-year-old boy, I'd be like, you know, you're dumb as fuck, right? You know, you don't know shit. You don't know anything. And 10 years from now, if you talk to me 10 years from now, the version of me that's 10 years older would come back in time to this moment and be like, you know, you're dumb as fuck. You don't know shit. You don't know anything, right?
Right. So what kind of music were you playing then? What kind of bands were you in?
Oh man, I would love to tell you that I'd lived up to all of my idols' expectations and all the things you expected me to listen to, but the truth of the matter was I was never talented enough to get to that point. It was truthfully the aesthetic in our heads was more Nine Inch Nails Typo Negative, and the truth of the matter was more Nirvana without the sociological interest.
Okay.
So, not good, right? Not the worst, but definitely didn't know what we thought we knew, whether musically or philosophically. Just a bunch of kids from the middle of nowhere trying to find some kind of outlet. That's really what it was. And I hope to God that bourbon and this whole bourbon culture thing doesn't ever get big enough that anyone ever digs out any of that shit and releases it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I will kill you. I will fucking kill anyone who releases anything I ever reported. Just right up front.
Now we've got a mission.
Jesus Christ.
That is until you and I start recording, Alan.
Right, yeah. Well, and that's a nowadays thing, but it would be the equivalent of like somebody digging out Bernie Lubbers as a pro wrestler, right? Bernie Lubbers would be like, he can talk about I was a pro wrestler and a pro comedian back in the day, right? But the first time you find some videotape, it'll be like messaging you at 1 o'clock in the morning. I will hunt you down. I'll slit your throat with a fucking envelope. and this whole thing will come to an end.
He's already at your front door, texting you.
So
I got Oreos. It's okay. That's the peacemaker in the world.
there you
Oreos.
go, Oreo and absinthe.
Yeah.
That might be a key to world peace.
Speaking of Oreos, Alan, have you tried the lemon Oreos with absinthe yet?
Man, I have not tried the lemon Oreos, and let me tell you, maybe this is a result of growing up in a trailer park in southern Indiana, and having a classical babysitter, and having a grandmother who was poor. Any kind of lemon cookie whatsoever just reminds me of where I don't want to go again.
Okay.
Right. just a little. I'm good. I know what a lemon cookie tastes like, but maybe that's good pairing. Could be. I could see it with gin and absinthe. Either one could be great.
Gotcha. No, that's a weakness for me.
You could tear me down, by the way. I'm just fucking with you, Benji. Just fucking lay into me, brother. It's all good. It's what Alan Bishop Dave's about.
You like what you like. You don't like what you don't like. So,
all right.
Yeah,
so
it's all good.
Go ahead.
No, I want to add someone else to the evening.
I'm good.
Hi, Jolie.
Hello.
How are you?
Gross.
Good. How are you guys?
Great. Until you
Doing
got here.
well.
Shut up, Alan. This whole day's been about you. God.
This whole day has been
Like
about you. I
constantly being
climbed into
fucking
a
trolled.
still. I climbed into a still to record you a video for my day. This whole day is about you. Let's not
You
lie. The
woke me up
content
this
is Joey
morning.
based.
You woke me up this morning trolling me, literally.
You were already awake when I trolled you. It doesn't count.
I wasn't already awake.
That's
you
a lie.
woke me up and you were like, go look at this video.
You set your alarm clock for fucking 5:30 this morning because you're like, I better fucking be on my shit this morning.
Nope. I did it
He's
when
gonna
I
fucking be
peed.
coming at me hard.
Yep, I did it. You're not wrong. I did it. I got up at 5:30 to pee, not an alarm, just the natural one.
Where's your mom?
I'm said, you know what? I'm gonna do all this fucking social media right now and just tell everyone right away to fuck off.
Where's your mom?
And then I'm gonna go back to sleep for a little while. Except Kim, because
Where's
Kim,
your mother?
That's none of your business, Alan. It's none of your business. You stay away from my mom.
Why? She likes it.
Stop it.
We've got a tree house. We got our own monster squad. Just saying. Why you gotta be weird like that? Don't
My
make it
mother
weird.
literally cooking pumpkin bread and spending
For
time
me.
with your grandchild. Okay? So you back off.
Thank you for writing that joke for me. Thank
Back
you.
off.
I don't know if these guys have all realized, and I'm sure they have in some weird way. Nothing good is going to come from this evening.
Yeah.
I hope you guys all realize this. I love you all to death, but nothing good is coming from this.
How many times have I been on this ride with you guys, Alan? I think I know where this is going.
It's literally gatekeeper
like
and keymaster.
Right?
Kevin was like 13 minutes before it went off the rails. I'm like, that's a record. Yep. Congratulations on it lasting that long.
And that was because he was 5 minutes late.
Right?
5 minutes, exactly. Just me.
It was 5 minutes in.
Me in my basement going, I can't get my phone to connect. I had to literally, like, when I hung up my phone, I had to fucking yell at Kim and be like, Kim, I don't know what's happening right now, but I can't figure it out.
I sent you a text. I said, restart your shit.
Ridiculous. Poor Drew right now, just in the corner going, God, fuck.
I'm along for the ride.
Right.
Jolie, that's not on the theme either.
I'm drinking whiskey from somebody that Alan and I both respect.
That's good stuff right there.
It is good stuff. They are great.
And
people.
It goes into a Scotchy Bourbon Boys glass because cheers to Jeff Mueller.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! For making it through COVID, and
that's right.
Yeah,
glad he's doing better.
That's like taking heroin cold turkey.
Right? Yeah.
Fun.
Right? So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
what we got next here?
Jolie, you were present when Alan Bishop Day was birthed.
Oh.
Painfully.
That's a little dramatic.
Painfully birth.
Probably, yeah. You were there when this 14-pound baby was born. So
Split that Vaj.
tell us a little bit about the. Jeez. Tell us a little about that show, that ABV show that Steve Akeley did a year ago today.
Yeah, tell us about that show, Julie. Who was involved in that show? Let's get into that. Let's go fucking deep. Let's do it.
We need
Kevin,
to do Alan Bishop history.
why are you dropping bombs?
What
Damn
bomb?
it, Kevin.
That's Mike. That's Mike's line.
That's right. I'm stealing it because Mike's not here right now.
Well, he will be.
You know what? I don't even really remember much about it. I think that we talked about like what would you do, what activities, what food, and I just kept saying I'm not participating.
What?
Yeah, I said that at least twice during that podcast. I'm not participating in this made up fucking stupid ass day. Because that's all it is. Let's be honest.
Oh well, but it took on a life of its own,
Right.
much to your chagrin.
And now I get woken up on October 20th with Alan inside of a pot still, which no one took that video. Where were you guys? No one took that video watching his fat ass crawl into that fucking still and crawl back out. Nope. Everyone likes
there's some comments I want to make right there, but God, I'm trying to hold back for Kevin's sake here.
Everyone likes the
Going too
dance
far down the
video.
rail.
It's
No
already gone,
videos of
brother.
Alan crawling into a still. Was that head first, Alan? Your little feet sticking out.
Just Alan, I've already got you. Just ask your mom, Jolie.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. One up for Alan. I got the fucking green and white mushroom and Mario Brothers right there, Jolie Casper Brewer.
Oh man, Ben came off the top rope with that. So
I'm sorry, you just set that one right up on a tee for me, Jolie. I could, yeah, it was
Low hanging
honestly.
fruit,
It was.
like Alan's balls.
You're not wrong. They're like a half an inch away from the toilet water at this point. I mean, as I get older, they just keep drooping, and eventually they're going to touch the toilet water.
You and Andy always have these conversations about him. That's the only reason why I know.
It's a white guy problem. I talked about this with Jack last week. It's a normal white guy thing.
Yeah.
Your balls are eventually going to touch the toilet water, and that's how you know when you're done.
Let me say, not the proper way to wash them.
yeah, we've seen that video too.
Just saying.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Thanks for teaching everyone, Jolie.
And if you have not seen that, please go to Facebook or Instagram and check out Alan's posting of the video of Jolie's instructional for all young men to learn the proper way
Wow,
to clean
Ben.
their balls. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell everybody out there right now in Facebook land and StreamYard land and YouTube land. If you're white, as I am, and maybe in today's society that's unfortunate, and you're cisgendered, yes, I went there. I did. I said cisgendered. You're welcome. The moment your balls touch the water in the toilet, it's over. You might as well just go ahead and check into the old people's home. You're done. You're watching Matlock at 2:00 in the afternoon. You're listening to fucking Frank Sinatra. Your life is over, right?
Drinking Canadian whiskey.
The closer that my balls get to the water, the more I want to drink Canadian whiskey.
Right? There you go.
That
There you go.
might be the worst of it all right there.
So in like a decade, celebrating Alan Bishop Day will be holding your balls while you go to the bathroom, drinking Canadian whiskey,
Yes. And what's
and watching
really
Matlock.
What's truly unfortunate for you, Julie, is that as my balls get closer to the water and I get older and older and I get more miserable, towns throughout the state of Indiana are going to invite me to come and take the key to the town, and that includes Jasper, Indiana.
Stop.
They're going to make me the
No
head
one
of the parade.
in Jasper is inviting you to take the key to the town.
Oh,
That is not happening.
I'm for sure getting invited to Jasper, Indiana to lead the parade and talk about all the things that inspired me and how I'm a great Hoosier and how I inspired so many young Hoosier school children to go for something bigger and bolder and put their word out there. It's coming. It's coming, just like your mom. Oh.
It's like a whole shocker group conversation right here on live TV for
just
everybody
on
to
live
see.
TV for everyone to see.
Yep.
Just
What I got?
live.
Welcome to the group, Drew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how can I get in this group chat? I'm intrigued.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm curious,
You don't
Drew.
want any of that, Drew.
I'm gonna redirect here to try to keep this train on the rails, which is clearly not on the rails. We're gonna get it back on the rails.
What rails are those?
Alan is
The
directing us. This is
ones that I'm
dangerous.
laying out in my next question. So, Drew,
Okay.
music questions, brother. What do you got? Because I
Oh,
know
man.
Kevin, I know Benji. We're gonna go back to them, right? And I'm not trying to take over the show, but what you got music wise?
Yeah, man. So my music background, I'll do this quick. I grew up in the church in Oklahoma and was raised very, extremely conservative. And so was not really permitted to listen to anything outside of CCM and hymn music in church and that kind of things until late high school. Growing up in Oklahoma, country was a big thing. We just did an episode on the Highwaymen last week. That was a big part of my upbringing. Willie Whalen, Hank Sr., all those kind of things. And so I think I've always gravitated towards, anything that can be considered, and authentic is a buzzword here, but real songwriters playing their own instruments, singing their own songs. And so anything that kind of falls into that category, I'm in on. I gravitate more towards kind of the Americana folk country side of things. But I've been in various punk and pop punk bands over the years. Been in a couple of blues bands. I was in the house band for the Rodeo Opry back in Oklahoma for a little while as a piano player. And then since moving out to Kentucky, been in a variety of groups out here. So that's kind of the world that I live in music-wise.
Okay. Now, before we get off of that, I want to. We always do a commercial break in every one of our shows. Sometimes they're legit. We're promoting Bourbon on the Bangs or Stave and Bean or something of that nature. So what I want to do right now is give a little pub and a little love to Drew, because Drew has his first single dropping on Friday.
Friday,
All streaming services.
Right there.
That's fucking cool.
Yep.
So
I know we talked about it a little bit on a previous show, Drew, but talk a little bit about the experience recording your EP and the song and where all that stands.
Yep. As Kevin mentioned, Friday, my first single will be out at midnight, available on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever else you find your music. Song's called Angel. I've got a couple of different things lined up to talk about why that song is called that and what it's about, so I'll save it for then. But had a great opportunity a few months back to go to Nashville, work with some of my dearest friends on a project that'll be coming out at the first of the year. The project is called Tower Songs, and Angel is just kind of the first song off of that. These are all songs written kind of in the wake of the last few years for me, which was wrought with all kinds of craziness, some self-inflicted, some situationally inflicted, all kinds of stuff. But this is all kind of my attempt to process that through music. So it's all very personal to me. Very excited to get to share that with you. I'm getting masters back all the time. I just got the final cut at all of that this past week. Really, really excited to share that. And hopefully it turns out well. So we'll be doing some shows in support of that this weekend. First week in November, we'll do some shows here around Louisville. In December and January, we'll be in Nashville. We'll be at the Basement East and the Dive Motel.
Wow.
So a couple different places, all in support of that. I'll put that out on Instagram for those that follow me. You can see and follow along on that. But yeah, that's what's coming.
Awesome. That is
Very
so
good,
cool.
brother.
So very cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to in just a few minutes we're going to bring in a few other folks to talk a little bit more about
That's gonna be great.
the
I can't wait.
extended version. That's a poor choice of words. The Advent version of Alan Bishop Day.
God.
It's the day that
See,
keeps
it's-
on
it's-
giving.
it's- when you go to bed tonight, Julie,
It's
the
not
nightmare's
over.
not over.
It's not
only
over.
starting.
Last year it ended,
It's
and I could
only
just put it out of
starting.
my mind.
Oh,
Now-
motherfucker! Look at this.
Right.
Look at these
Look at
two.
That's
Oh
a
God!
If I have ever seen in my life as a wrestling fan a power couple other than Stephanie and Triple H, we got it right here, right now. That's a real fucking deal right there. Right? They're just waiting to fuck me up. It's coming.
They're good people.
They're
Oh,
great
please,
people.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh,
Tell
my
you what.
God.
We have met some fantastic people over the last couple of years.
I'm just going to tell all of you guys right now, real quick. When I die, my tombstone for all of you is going to say, "I'm sorry." All right? Just so you're aware. I'm sorry up front.
Well, what we are going to do now is we're going to talk a little bit about a couple other things that make Alan Bishop Day as special as it is. And Adina has designed a cocktail for Alan Bishop
Hey.
Day. What other holidays are there that have their own cocktail?
Adina, have you not ever heard? It only encourages. Right? My wife right now upstairs is rolling her eyes so hard her brain hurts.
I am
Just
right
letting
there
you
with
know.
her. I am right
I
there
don't
with
blame
her.
either of you.
Which is why this morning I said, "Fuck you all except Kim."
Kim says we should all be singing the Brady Bunch theme right now.
Right?
Oh, that's awesome. So, Adina, this is the cocktail that you designed.
It is.
Beautiful.
So it is a work of art, to say the least. But
Are those cheese puffs on the sides?
They
Hell yeah.
absolutely are.
yeah, walk us through this, Adina.
Okay. So it was on the whiskey
I'm
dinner.
not going to laugh because I'm going to try this, by the way. I'm doing this.
It's
It is-
actually good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
It all started out with the on one night on my whiskey den, and they were saying we need an official cocktail for Alan Bishop Day, and I said, "Oh, I'm on that."
Challenges.
So I started with our lovely Malort from the Chicagoland area, which is they market it by saying how to unfriend someone in person. Give them a shot of Malort. Then I took some of Alan's Right Way, the rye in the absinthe barrel. And I also made a provision in there if you don't have access to the Right Way, you can use a mix of rye and absinthe. In the directions that I put on the website there, it says, rinse out a glass with some absinthe like you would for a Sazerac and then discard it. And I said, no, you're not going to discard it. You can just drink the rest of it.
Throw away after. That's
I'm not going to
ridiculous.
throw it away.
Why would you do
There's no
that?
reason to waste it.
Right.
That's right.
Kind of crazy.
Then
That's right.
add the booze, and actually the base of it like that is really good to mix with just on the rocks or something. Oh, honey simple syrup. You got to do something to counteract the malort.
Gotta
diffuse the
There's
malort.
actually a way to
It's an
counteract
anecdote.
malort.
Yep.
And then the topped with just a bit of pink grapefruit White Claw, because nothing goes better with malort than White Claw. And we've topped it with a lovely garnish of cheese balls. And unfortunately, the McRibs are not available yet. But I found that Encore frozen entrees makes a wonderful substitute for a McRib. So I've made my own little McRib sandwich there to cut into like a little crouton to use for a little snack along with your lovely cocktail here. And surprisingly enough, it's not bad.
But it leaves an aftertaste that kind of sticks with you sarcastically. So
That aftertaste is collectively known as regret.
Shame,
yeah,
shame, and regret.
yeah.
Yes. The only thing that could have made Adina and Dave's contribution to this better is if you guys had actually framed this as the whole Dan Aykroyd SNL Batomatic thing. Right?
It slices, it dices, it juliennes.
Yes.
Yes.
But it is actually quite enjoyable.
And if you drink it while pissing off a light tower in Key West, then extra points right there. So
You got to piss off the White Tower in Key West. You got to go visit the haunted doll, Robert, and you got to put a fucking you got to put a little magic Norwegian rune up on the chalkboard, and then you got something nobody else has got there, right?
all while petting a six-toed cat. So
Yeah. A six-toed cat that you stole or rented, right? Rented.
right.
Challenge accepted.
So Adina is a genius at this stuff, and Dave is
Absolutely.
not too far behind her, but behind her on the
Indeed.
cocktail side.
Indeed.
But you guys are fantastic with this stuff, and that somebody could come up with a concoction that fits the spirit of Alan Bishop Day. I don't know that there could be something much better than that.
Adina and Dave, let me just say this.
Yes.
30 years from now, when my grandchildren are grown, they're going to look back on the internet and they're going to be like, that Adina and Dave. But they really got it. They understood what he was going for, right?
Nailed it.
I'm not even saying that's in a positive way, just saying that's what's going to happen. My grandchildren are going to look back on this and be like, yep, 100%.
I couldn't figure out how to get Oreos into it, though.
Nah, Oreos didn't work. No.
Had to leave that out.
That just goes with absolute meat, you know. When our Chicago Malort loving friends found out we did a cocktail, there was some emails and social media saying, "Send me the recipe right now."
Yeah.
So
Chicago.
I did tell Dave though the other week that I said I don't know the last time I ever bought Malort and White Claw at the store at the same time.
it's kind of embarrassing.
You can only
You're probably
imagine
on a
what
watch
you
list
got.
now.
Yeah, the side eye given
Yeah.
to Adina here. So
Right?
you're-
The
we're
checkout
on-
person.
Right.
You're on a
What
watch
kind of looks
list
did you
now,
get at
so.
checkout with that? It's kind of like walking up and slapping down some rope and chain and leather and whatever.
duct tape and
Right?
Yeah.
Suntan lotion.
Yeah.
Malort.
Well, Dave,
Diapers.
Adina,
Astroglide.
I will tell you, as the Alan Bishop on this show for Alan Bishop Day,
Frozen peas.
you have made my journal in a way that Jolie Kasperzak never will. I'll be like, today's date, Dave and Adina, they get it. Jolie Kasperzak, fuck her.
How many other entries does it say Jolie Kasperzak fuck her?
5.
5. Is that all? So you started this 5 days ago.
Right.
No,
So
2
you're
days
saying
ago.
I have a chance.
2 days. 2 days.
Oh my god.
Adina,
Goals.
that's fantastic, and I'm not even joking. I'm really gonna try that fucking cocktail because as an absinthe fan, I really want to like Malort. I feel like it's a little bit like being getting dosed by your own fucking your own gas weapons, right? you got to experience it in a way that you can understand it, and so I'm willing to give that cocktail an opportunity. Right, it's almost worthwhile, even if it's really bad, which I don't believe it is, because you guys have excellent taste profiles. It's almost worthwhile. I'll just be like, I did that. I was there. It's like going to Holiday World in Indiana. I rode the Raven. Was it good? Define good. Do I have whiplash? Yes.
It was memorable.
Memorable.
So it's like a night with Jolie's mom.
Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on.
It's Alan Bishop Day, Red. It's Alan Bishop Day. I have to.
She's like
required.
in the next room.
Tell her
Bring her on.
Bring her on. Bring her on.
Bring her on.
Bring her on. We want to
No, I don't
Bring her on.
Tell her to come show them
on.
titties.
See?
No.
No.
I'll mute everybody else's microphone. Just bring her on so we can all meet Joey's mom.
It's not happening.
Come on.
No.
Why not?
No.
Pussy.
Really?
Nobody will be
Really?
able to.
Why not?
She won't.
Really?
Nobody will be able to say anything else to her. We just want to meet your mom.
She's met me before and she loves
Hey, Mom!
me. Mom!
Meatloaf.
Kitty baby!
Right.
Mom, kitty's ready to go now.
All right, everybody be nice.
All right. Music questions. I got one
Should
for
we
you
take
guys.
our shirts off?
Yeah, we should. I got a music question for everybody on this
swear to
thread
God,
right now.
If you insult my mom, I'm going to hurt you.
You tell your mom to hold her horses. We got more important things to discuss.
Mute him. Come here.
All right.
These people want to meet you. These people want to meet you.
They want to
Behave.
meet me? Oh my god. Why is that? Hello.
Hi, Jolie's mom.
I feel like
Hello.
mom.
Hello.
We're all her friends.
Or
Allegedly.
something like that.
Something like that. Yes.
Has she always been this way?
Now we can't hear you.
You muted yourself.
Yeah, wait.
Yep.
Good job.
Great.
How did she do that?
Jolie, we can't hear
Awkward
you.
silence.
There you are. Can we hear you now? Nope.
Jolie's mom.
Hi,
Has
Jolie's
she always
mom.
been this way? Jesus. What's going on right now? Jolie, unmute your thing.
She just took the microphone out.
What are you doing? Look at her. Just confused.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
We just blew it up right there.
Hello?
Hi, Mrs. Jolie's mom. How are you?
Hey, she
never
probably has to
did.
jump off and back on because she messed with it while it's on the stream.
Oh,
Yep.
It's not coming through.
yeah.
Oh, now it is.
Hey, there you are.
Now it is. Okay.
All right.
There we go. Okay. Happy
so tell
Alan
us
Bishop
about-
Day.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's
Thank you.
nationwide. No, it's united. It's the whole world, right?
It's international.
International.
Just in Canada. Oh,
Thank
I thought
you.
it was worldwide, Alan
No,
Bishop Day.
That
No,
is international.
It's only listen. I want to tell you this right now. Listen to your daughter and how sad this sounds. It's only U.S. and Canada, as though it's inconsequential to everyone else in the world that it's only U.S. and Canada.
It's not inconsequential. She's bitter. She's bitter. There's just not another word. It's just bitter.
Well, we try to help her.
Wow. Wow.
I love
Jolie,
She needs-
Jolie's mom.
even your mom is celebrating Alan Bishop Day.
This is the best.
Yes.
Is it even your mom? You know.
Even your mom.
Jolie's mom is so much cooler than Jolie. Look at her.
Right.
She's like you know what, Jolie's mom? Jolie is like an angsty teen. She looks like a very
Angsty?
angsty teen.
That is a good
Right.
way. But it is a good
agree.
It's a good way to
Don't
put it.
agree.
But it is a good way to
Right.
put it.
I hate you
Like,
all.
like she didn't get invited to prom or something.
You got
You know?
invited to prom, didn't you?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, she did get invited to prom.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
good.
I mean, she seems a little aggravated by the fact that the attention is not for good, but on me right now. Like she just
Yeah, but
like
but,
she was
but you all-
aggravated. She was aggravated that we invited you into this,
oh,
right?
but you all do aggravate her.
Because they say
Oh,
yes
of course
to
we do.
me.
We have to.
See, they confess to it at least. Nice feet, y'all.
Bye. That was classic.
That was awesome. Thank you, Jolie.
That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
thank you.
All of you.
We love
All
you.
of you.
We love you.
That was the most amazing thing that will happen for the next fucking 12 months.
Where else are you
She's
going to
awesome,
get
though, right?
television
She's awesome.
like this? Yeah, she
Until the
was
next
awesome.
Alan Bishop Day.
I cannot wait until the moment, and it will happen. It will happen in your lifetime, Jolie. Until the moment that I can hang out with your mom, Andy's mom, Andy's dad, and my dad all together. It's going to be the most glorious thing that ever happened in the history of the world.
You're not going to get Andy's mom and Andy's dad in the same.
You
Room
fucking
together.
watch me.
Okay.
You watch me.
It's
gonna
the
happen.
miracle of Alan Bishop Day.
A couple drinks,
Miracle of Alan Bishop Day.
a couple drinks, and some Neil Young songs. I
I'm
got
going to
this.
drink more now, right now.
All right. So
Now, right now. Here's the thing, okay? So that happened, right? And you guys are going
Right.
to be like, it's so funny for a few days. There'll be comments and blah, blah, blah. Do you see this? Do you see what you guys have caused? This is what's going to fucking happen. But to me, for the rest of my life. Put your shit away. Gross. For the rest of my life. Remember that one time I got your mom to admit you were a fucking bitch teenager? That's not how it went. That's how I remember it.
those weren't the exact words. We've got it on tape. Okay.
It doesn't matter. In 30 years, who cares? It's not going to be the
And-
actual memory that counts.
In 30 years, we're playing this at your funeral. And you know what? If I die before you, they're playing it at my funeral for you. All right. Music question?
Jack
What
is
you guys-
even
what
jumping
you guys got?
into this here.
So, Alan, you are visiting Jolie.
Right?
Jack!
Right?
Jack.
I told you she was
Oh.
hot, though, right, Jack?
Class A shit
Jack
stir.
would fuck them all.
It is on tape. Like the
Jolie's mom has got
right.
it going on.
All right, Alan, you've tried to ask a question a number of times, and for some reason, I don't
no
know
one
how.
cares.
Somebody-
You
No one cares.
said you were
Yeah,
going to
you're not
mute
wrong.
everyone and only be the person that talked to her, and that wasn't true, Kevin.
Kevin
Well,
was a
let's
liar.
Everybody
do
was-
this. So
Everybody
Mike-
behaved. Nobody cussed at her.
No,
Nobody
they
said anything
didn't.
rude. Everybody was very nice to her and respectful.
I just played with my nipple and she liked it. Mike has been on here
See how
now
the
for like
story's already
15 minutes.
evolving?
Mike has been on here for like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
He has not asked a question. He's just sitting there waiting for his moment.
Well, yeah.
I'm being patient. It's
Okay.
been you know,
An ABD
It's-
enthusiast.
that's right. Yeah. ABD, not CBD.
ABD.
I am not allowed to say anything about that other network that might exist, but
I said
fuck them.
ABD.
Not going there.
ABD.
Not going there.
All right. So Mike is going to talk about. He came on here to talk about the Advent aspect of the Alan Bishop holiday experience. So, Mike, you want to tell us a little about what this is?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
The fucking Henry Rollins, by the way, is fucking great. That's the way I feel about the entire world. Everything Henry Rollins says just reflects my entire existence at this point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like some people hear Morgan Freeman, you hear Henry Rollins.
Every fucking morning when I wake up and I look in the mirror, I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. You dumb motherfucker. People listen to you and you just go along with it. Yeah, you have no idea. Just yeah, 100%.
But you should try hearing that in Morgan Freeman's voice at some point to see if it's any different. So
ABD enthusiast.
So
Let's go, Mike.
So we had Alan on our show, My Whiskey Den, and McRibs. Obviously, it's really important to celebrate. But the problem is McRibs don't come out for a few more days, and we started doing the math while he's on the show, realizing that we're basically looking at a normal Advent period of time here with the ending celebration of Alan Bishop Day is having a McRib with Malort. And there's no better way to celebrate the end of Alan Bishop Day, as I'm sure Julie probably has already got all of her decorations up, which is why her mom's there, so she can get the whole house decorated.
Oh my God.
So as we were talking about this blessed event, all holidays are born out of something, and this is born out of not only necessity but out of love. But the day does start off by posting to Jolie's social media. I've been very lax. I'm just now having a chance to actually enjoy the holiday. As you know, sometimes holidays can be hard for people. So I'm just now getting a chance
Yes,
to
this holiday is very
celebrate.
hard for me.
That's
not
what
about
she
you,
said.
but it's not about you. So traditionally, people should leave out their absinthe and Oreo so Alan can visit. I did think about, an Oreo, trying to introduce Oreo in the cocktail. What about taking the gelatinous substance of the Oreo and rubbing the inside of the glass or rimming the glass with that?
Rimming.
I wonder how that would work instead of just doing the Oreo.
Ben.
So can you mute her, please? So as we're talking about some of the things that you should eat, because you do have traditional feasts, for holidays, certain things that you always have every year. So things that you should have, like chicken and a biscuit and squeezed cheese, definitely Casey's Taco Pizza, which I can wholeheartedly agree with that one. Always have Slim Jims on hand, and don't forget to squeeze the juice out when you're done. Don't let that juice sit in the bag. Eat turtle as much as you can while you're out. Try to have, if you can get a little some Malort and some vanilla ice cream, make a little Malort float for desserts. And always sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is a great topping, not only for the shake, but for the Casey's Taco Pizza. Just throw a little bit of that in there too, because it's not a holiday if you're not feeling it the next day.
And top it with some gummies.
Oh, absolutely. And make sure that they melt together, so then that way you can't tell what you're having with your gummies.
Right.
If you don't throw up in a church parking lot, it doesn't count.
That's right. At some point, there's going to be a calendar, an actual calendar, like people do, whiskey advent calendars or other advent calendars. There's going to have to be an Alan Bishop one with tasks for the day or things that you're supposed to do. But you definitely should be celebrating not only with Malort, and as Adina came through with the cheesy poof cocktail, which that was absolutely amazing. Was also trying to incorporate jalapeno poppers into some sort of a cocktail as well. But don't sell yourself short. Make sure you do have some absinthe or aquavit, just so you can kind of keep yourself in balance. And if you do have to have something, like White Claw, have it done tastefully like Adina did. Don't be shameful. Don't just pound White Claws, because nobody does that. No honest person should ever do that.
Sorority girls.
It was true, sorority girls.
Yeah.
And also think about, as you're on Bourbon Turntable, but think about the music you should be listening to for the holiday season. It's before long, there's going to be some sort of satellite station or something that's going to start playing Alan Bishop holiday music, probably starting on the 16th and work its way up. But things like Kid Rock, Insane Clown Posse, D Antwerp, and also I thought, something else. Don't leave this one out, Bjork. And maybe on November 1st, the complete recordings of Yoko Ono.
Oh no, absolutely not.
And if you have a copy of Two Virgins, make sure to leave that album out so everybody visiting your house can see both the front and the back of that album.
And don't forget, Mike, and you did a great job sermonizing this evening, and I greatly appreciate you spreading the word of Alan Bishop Day. But don't forget tonight when you go to bed to pray very hard for all the DPDA girls, right? And the suffering that they go through for our pleasure. I don't want anybody to forget, right? I mean, you got to put that out there and take care of these girls, you know.
GBG.
Oh, and that's the line that went a little too far, fuckers.
Just the tip.
All right. They're speaking of the songs that you should listen to on Alan Bishop Day and throughout the entire Alan Bishop Advent season. There is a collaborative Spotify list that's been started. I've posted a link to that in the Facebook and YouTube chat. So if you feel so inclined, if you got a song that you think Alan should hear, or that reminds you of him, or just something that you think will annoy him or any of us, feel free to add that. And if it sucks, I'll take it off.
So kicking back to music for a second here, taking off of what you're saying, Kevin. Alan, talk to us about distilling and the impact of music that it has on your art and your craft there.
Mostly it started as a way to drown out another distiller I worked with at Copper and Kings that liked the Grateful Dead. And then after that, it was just drowning out Jolie. No, music, just like whiskey, is a door to another world, right? It's something that makes you feel something that you don't ordinarily feel, and it takes you to a different place. And that's what whiskey should be. That's what all distilled spirits should be, a tool to open a door, right? And it can be anything. It can be things that I ordinarily like, or things that the group of people we have here right now tonight shares with me. You know, if you heard this yet, is this something that inspires you? And that's the fun of music, right? There's a million different modes of living your life, and every day is a new opportunity to find a way to live your life, right?
Right.
There's something new to learn every day. There's something new that gets put in front of you every day, and that can be music, and it can be art, it can be movies, it can be whatever inspires you, right? And shut up, Jolie. Fuck you.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Mike because he's a concept.
Alan channeling a little Bill Bishop there.
Music, it's great. Everybody loves it.
I'm done now. I'm done.
Canada.
Wow.
Thanks, Red. Thanks for ruining our answer.
You are so welcome. I am so happy you invited me today.
It's been awesome having you here.
You should be. I'm bringing you. Listen, I'm just going to throw this out there for the world.
Here it
What
goes.
Jolie absolutely loves is that her birthday falls in the same month as my day. And what she really loves is when people tell her happy birthday through my Facebook post.
Right? Like 40 people. Happy birthday on Alan's page.
Right?
At some point, you just become inseparable. You don't hear one name without the other.
No, never.
Alan and Jolie, Alan and Jolie, Alan and Jolie.
See what you did?
It's a thing.
See
You're
what
welcome.
You
You're welcome. I broke you.
So
Somebody
so
said that
very
you're
long
Alan's
ago.
number 2. I heard that you were Alan's number 2.
Yes.
Yes,
Every time
dude,
my toilet, every
This
time my toilet
happened.
chokes, she is my number 2.
This happened.
Kevin
We
with the
are at the
sniping.
Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and somebody says either my name or they called me Testarossa. And they were talking to me, and then they introduced me to their wife, and they say, "This is Alan Bishop's number 2." And I was like, that is the wording that you chose? Like, assistant
why?
would I mean, that would be just as bad, but so much better than, hey, here's Alan's deuce.
But speaking of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival in number 2, Mike, you had an experience. You want to elaborate on that a little bit here?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Speaking of deucing.
This is a great
Yeah.
story.
Yes.
Do you really want to hear that?
Florida Can
Mike-
incident of
Mike-
2021.
Mike got
Everyone
set up.
should hear this story.
Mike got set up. This is a great
It
story.
was a setup. So there's a line of porta potties, and we're there early. Ben and I both are going to make a little stop at the porta potty. I go to open the door to the one as it says open on the door, and there's a woman standing in the doorway.
What you mean
Pants
is a
down around
large
around her ankles, ass out, and she turns around. She's like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Oh!" And I hurry up and I shut the door. I go on. I do my business. I go back and I go to hit the hand sanitizer. This is minutes go by. Ben and I start talking, and I start to tell him what happened. And granted, this is minutes had passed. Then she comes out of the porta potty and starts walking towards us.
What was she doing?
That's exactly the point.
What
were you doing that your pants were down before you started? Your pants were down, door unlocked, ass to the door before you went to the bathroom. What were you doing? And then we kept constantly running into her for a good hour to an hour and a half. We just kept running into her, and they're
ridiculous.
There was not a lot of eye contact was made, but there was an acknowledgement of each other's presence every single time that we saw each other.
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you what she was doing. She was listening to Nikki and waiting for somebody.
Mike, I want to know what song was playing in your mind. Stacy's mom got it going on.
No, it was
Fat Bottom
probably
Girls.
something
Fat Bottom
from
Girls.
Yoko Ono's greatest hits.
Yeah.
And
Something like that.
I've got to ask you, Mike, how did you recognize her from seeing her from that view?
because she did turn around. She turned around. It was like, oh, and then
She was like-
that's when we
Wait, like a full turnaround?
she didn't know.
Oh, okay.
No, Kevin. Now why you got to make it?
do.
gross?
Just
Turned
you
around with
said
the phone
you
going,
said
"Hey."
she turned around. I didn't want anybody to be unclear about
No,
the
it was the
level
over the
of
shoulder.
turnaround.
Yeah, it was the over the
She
shoulder turn.
turned her head to over her shoulder. Okay.
Yeah,
She was
Alright.
like, call me.
no, it was
She was
not
like,
what I
I know
wanted
you
to see.
saw that.
She
Yeah.
left it open on purpose.
Yeah,
She was
well,
waiting for assistance.
She was waiting for assistance. Thank you, Emily.
She was like, check me out on OnlyFans.
Yes.
that's right. Yeah,
Don't swipe left.
Only grands.
She was presenting.
Oh, my
Emily
goodness.
always with a great snipe there.
yes.
So, speaking of only grands, Jolie,
Shut up, Alan.
when you, I know you've sent out some foot pics. I mean, when you going to make that a full-time career?
She
I don't really know
Right.
what you want me to say to
Speechless.
that. I shared that with you in
Listen.
confidence.
I'm just telling you that if you painted your little pinky toe fucking black, there's a number of guys, not good guys, but guys that would totally buy into this.
Would they? I'm gonna start
If you-
crushing bread and see how much cash I can make.
Listen, you crush bread and you fucking present that to some Joy Division or some Cure.
That's what I'm saying.
Money.
There's money to be made.
Mhm.
There's
money.
money to be
Yeah.
made.
One of them used to own a whiskey bar in Louisville, but we won't go there.
Fuck, I had to sneeze. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
I had to.
All right. So while we're telling stories, there's a story that I heard one time, and when I heard it, I knew Alan Bishop is my kind of people. So Alan, I want to hear the Copper and Kings tour story.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is a fantastic story.
Do you want details or you just want the general gist of the story?
Tell the story. I'm not gonna make you tell it a specific way. Yeah, but it's a great story. It needs to be told every now and then. And what better time to tell it than Alan Bishop Day?
So let's do this as a warning story for any home distiller that gets a job in the career and you've suddenly made it. So you worked your ass off, you played around at home, you've done all the things, you've learned all the essentials. You're a pretty good distiller all around, right? you're looking for a job, and you look at your local largest city that's around. And you go, there's 3 or 4 places hiring, and we've applied to 3 of those 4 places, and none of those 3 of the 4 have replied to you whatsoever. But the 4th one that you didn't want to be a part of necessarily has called you, and they said, "You want to be a part of this?" Sure. All right. It's a way in. It's a step in the door. And, I can do something off of this platform. And you get hired. You become part of the team. And that team is not necessarily something that you necessarily think that it should be, but whatever. You make the best of what you can. And you go in with the best of intentions. And you start working. And they start charging you hours, right? Because that's what it all comes down to. And maybe you're working 60, 70 hours a week to get this thing up and going. And they're giving you a salary, not necessarily paying you what you're worth, but they pay you what you'll take. And maybe you get stuck doing tours on Friday and Saturday nights, whether you want to or not. And you start playing a game. Just for shits and giggles, right? Just a little, how much can I drink versus how much can my co-distiller drink? And maybe you're twice that co-distiller's weight. You can drink twice as much, or you think you can. You're doing 5 or 6 tours on a Friday night in October. And the last tour of the night, you're super drunk and you're going through all the motions and you're explaining how everything works. And maybe about halfway through, there's these 2 girls on the tour that just keep talking the whole time. And it's the end of your week. And like Al Bundy, right? We're all familiar with Married with Children. You come to the end of your rope. You go, I can't fucking do this. I can't take it in. Next person that says some shit on a Friday or Saturday night after I've done 50 or 60 hours, I'm going to call that person out. And so you get about halfway through the tour and this person's on their cell phone. They're talking on their cell phone. Oh, I got this. I can't. Blah, 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 whatever the fuck they said. And you say, listen, bitch, I'm going to need you to either shut the fuck up or get off my tour. And they look at you and they say the following words. And if you ever hear the following words for anybody in any career ever, just so you understand how fucked you are in the world and the way the world works, if they ever say the words, do you know who I am? The wrong response is, no, I don't, and I don't fucking care.
Is it the wrong response? Is it the wrong response?
It is the right response.
It's
Even
the
if you
right
know who they are.
response.
Right.
It's not the response that you get rewarded for. Let's put it that way. All right.
No?
It's the correct response. It's not the response that actually brings you any kind of financial incentive or that a boy, right? And let's just say that you say, no, bitch, and I don't care to a famous movie star and her now famous friend who won some kind of stupid cooking competition on A&E or whatever channel that fucking desperate white housewives watch. And you don't think anything about it. You go on about your fucking day and you're explaining all the fucking piping and here's how we do this and that and the other. And at the end of the night, you go, I don't know why the boss just called my cell phone 5 times, but it can't be good. And you call back and he says the following at like 10 o'clock on a Friday, come to my office. Okay. And you get to the office and you go, what's up? Are you aware that you just kicked a celebrity off of our tour? No. And quite frankly, I didn't say it, but I don't fucking care. Right? It's fucking Friday. I've been here for fucking 18 hours, whatever. Are you aware who you kicked off our tour? No, but please tell me, because if I'm in trouble, I at least want bragging rights. Are you aware that she was just in a giant comic book movie? I wasn't, but you're telling me now, so let's just go ahead and fucking put this out there on the floor. Are you aware she's from Louisville, Kentucky, and she's a local hero? Seemed like a cunt to me.
Highest paid actress in 2012.
Yes. Give me a reason not to fire you. I got nothing. Right? Oh, it was her. Well, she was a bitch on my tour, and I was done for the week. I shouldn't have to feel bad about that. Well, you have no idea how bad that looks on us. I wasn't really thinking about that on my Friday evening when I wanted to go the fuck home. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to say to it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the fuck it is. You know what? Here's the truth of Alan Bishop Day. Here's the absolute truth of this whole ridiculous fucking thing. If someone's a cunt, tell them they're a fucking cunt and go on about your fucking day, because the world needs fucking more of that. We all need more of that, right? No matter what your political view is, no matter what you think about the world, no matter what position you're in right now, don't ever be afraid to tell a motherfucker that they've got it fucking coming. Right? I could have got fired over that. Could never been in the industry again. But I didn't know who the fuck she was. And she was causing me fucking problems on a Friday night when I didn't want to fucking be there. Right? And I fucking told her how it was. There ain't nothing badass about that. It's just the way the world works. If you're a dick, you're a dick. Right? If you're a good person, you're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the entire point of this whole thing. That's the entire point of life. I don't give a fuck if you're famous or not famous. You just do the best you can. Right?
So the point of life is to insult Jennifer Lawrence. I can get behind
Absolutely.
that.
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
That.
Jennifer Lawrence or people like Jennifer Lawrence. Yes.
She
Oh, I got
represents
the wrong person.
she
I showed
represents
the
a
wrong
population
person.
group. You said the wrong person.
Yeah, I forgot it was her. I thought it was somebody else.
Who did you think it was?
She was
Jennifer
not.
Lawrence.
This girl was the highest paid actress in 2015 and 2016. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I kicked
Kristen
her off a
Stewart.
tour. I kicked this girl off a tour in 2014, right? 1 year before she's the highest paid actress.
You probably
And I will
launched her
tell
career.
you right now, this girl, you might as well have thought she was fucking Oprah, right? Because she let me know real fucking quick who the fuck she was.
She was
Real
times
fucking slick.
2013. She was the Times one on the 100 most influential world list and the Forbes top 100 celebrity list.
Apparently, it's
Don't
not.
fuck with me
Apparently, it's
on
not
a
one night
Friday
at Copper
evening
and
at 9
Kings.
o'clock while I'm drunk and I'm done with work. Fuck you.
No, fuck
Could have
you,
been
Alan.
Johnny Depp. Could have been Johnny Depp. I'd have been like, lick my ass. Fuck you.
He would have loved that.
Oh,
Right?
So that is the incident.
The incident.
It's a wonderful story.
We need to bring that as an annual tradition, I think. I like
Yes.
your comment, Mike.
Yes, Mike had
Yeah.
it down. That
I concur.
this replaces the reading of the night before Christmas.
Oh my god.
It warms
All
your
right.
heart.
On
Some
that
people
note,
read Luke chapter 2. We get the,
on that note, I'm gonna go spend time with my mom. Let
too.
the jokes commence.
Tell her
So
it was
are
great
we.
to meet her.
There you go. Thank
It was
you.
great to meet your
Yes.
mom, and
Have
thank
fun,
you for
Jolie.
having her on with us with our show.
I love you
And That
guys.
was great.
We
Thanks,
love
Jolie.
you. Thanks for
Love
coming
you.
on and
You
putting
too.
up with our
I
shit.
fucking hate
Jolie.
you, Bishop.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I fucking hate you
Listen. I
all day,
inspire
every day
you.
of my life.
I inspire you to spend another day on this mortal coil. 100%. You're welcome.
I don't think she thought you were sincere.
I'll talk to you later, Alan, when you call me.
I love you.
I love you too, Alan.
Bye. Smell my fingers. They smell like strawberries.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Jolie.
Actually,
That was something.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That's the word you're looking for.
It was well, yeah, it's Alan Bishop Day, so what do you expect?
I'll just be honest. I came in expecting to talk about music, and we didn't talk about music, but it's okay.
We
was
did
fun.
some. We absolutely did.
Right, a little bit. Yes.
A little bit.
All right.
Just a tip.
Well, all right. Well, Ben's not helping.
Do I ever?
So, what? We talked a little bit about young Alan. Again, this is a wonderful picture.
It's like 2 people watching now.
No, there are more than that. A few more than that.
Fuckers.
What are the things in music? What do you see in music today that you believe gives us some hope that there is still good music out there today? I think a lot of times we look at, or at least I do, look at the quote unquote good old days of music, and don't necessarily see a lot of hope in what we've got today. We did a show, recorded a show a couple weeks ago on, look back at the top 10 list from 10 years ago, and it was a horror show of absolutely rancid music. But there's good music out there. What is it that you see today that makes you have a little hope about the state of things?
I don't know. I'm pretty pessimistic about it too. I think the only band out there that I really look at and I get excited about is Alice in Chains.
Mm-hmm.
Like they still have something to say, right? It's still exciting, and Jerry Cantrell in general. That's but beyond that, honestly, I don't know that I can say one way or the other. Maybe there's a little Jack White stuff that's still exciting,
Mm-hmm.
although I feel like anything that he does that's exciting and fun and new still sounds a little bit like the White Stripes, right? I'm at the weird point in my life where you look at bands that you liked when you were a teenager and you're like, oh, cool, they're playing that live, and they never did before, right? Like 9 Inch Nails is playing The Perfect Drug live, and that's fun for me. You know, I get excited about that because they never did it before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they have to sell tickets. Or The Cure, I shared Burn the other night, right? I got excited about that because they never played that before.
Right.
But as far as modern music, I'm not sure there's a whole lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm kind of with you there, Alan. That for me. You know, we posted a comment in our little chat group here a while back about, hey, anybody have new music they recommend? And that's the thing. It's like a lot of the new music that's out there, most of it doesn't move me. It's like I enjoy it for a moment, but it doesn't stick with me at all. Where there's things that were recorded, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago that I keep going back to because that still inspires me. That still moves me. It still punches me in the gut when I hear it. And a lot of the things I'm hearing now just don't do that. And
yeah,
that's what I look for in really good music. How does that move me? How does that challenge me? How does that push me a little bit? And that's people like, hey, you need to try this, check this out. I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's cool. I like that. But let's do it a couple times and I'm done with it. All right, what's next? And it's not something I will ever go back to. So
right. Yeah, there's not a lot out there to kind of push the conversation forward, right? I mean, the coolest things I've heard in the last year or so are very much so there's kind of a trend towards remaking traditional music in certain cultures, whether it be Japanese cultures or Norwegian cultures, and sort of bringing back traditional, culturally relevant things.
Right.
To me, those are much cooler than anything that's new that's out there as far as pop music.
Yeah. Alan, where do you fall on guys like Jason Isbell and Sturgill Simpson and some of these singer-songwriters? I know that's not necessarily your favorite vein, but people doing, kind of their own thing, their own way.
No, so that's actually the kind of thing that I'm really interested in, is that outlaw music sort of mentality, right? We go out there, we do what we do, and if you love us, you love us. If you hate us, you hate us. I think that those things are more interesting than most of the things that are happening in popular music nowadays, for sure, right? They're more inspiring in a lot of ways, right? All the way down to even the sons and grandsons of the greats, right? All the way down to even Hank 3 is maybe a little too white trash for most people, but there's some sincerity to that, right? There's
Sure.
a little realness to it, and I think that's important, and that's something that's been missing from fucking music in general for the past 20 years.
Yeah, you've got to make a bit more effort, I think, to find music that has that authenticity that Drew had mentioned earlier. You have to look a little harder, but it's still there. And there's bands from, days gone by that are still putting out music. The Foo Fighters, I think, had a really good album out this year, as did the Black Keys. So you've still got that going on, but you've got some newer, relatively new bands that may only be a couple albums deep. A band called the Steel Woods. I think they're fantastic. There's a wonderful blues singer called Adia Victoria. Her new album is fantastic. But you just got to hunt it down, and because it's not going to be anything that you're going to hear if you happen to turn on a radio, or just looking at what's on the Hot 100 list, because it's just not going to be there. You got to try to find it, but it's there.
Right. Yeah. It's getting harder to find those things that are authentic, though, too. I mean, just in general, there's not. It's not like it was. I mean, even in the early 2000s, turn on the radio and you can find something. If you scan through the 5-6 stations you have in the middle of nowhere, you just find something you can identify with, right?
Right.
And that you can be a part of. It's not the same thing anymore. It gets a little hard to find something new, and that's why even in the little group that several of us have, I ask for new music, and the reason I ask is because I don't hear new music. I don't turn on the radio and go, well, "That's interesting. That's contextual, right?" Same thing with distillation, right? There's not that much difference between distillation that moves you and music that moves you, and so I'm always looking for those things like, what's the next thing that's going to get me to go, what can I do next? Right. And that's what I need. And truthfully, from anyone who listens to this, send me any kind of suggestion that you have as far as music goes, because art inspires art. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you turn on the radio and there's nothing that inspires you, and that's where we're at in this world, there's nothing where I can turn on the radio and go, well, that's exciting. Right. I mean, the closest thing we come to is a band like Clutch. And how often, even now, do you hear a band like Clutch on popular radio? You don't. Because that's a popular rock band, right? And rock is no longer somehow popular. It just doesn't happen. There's nothing out there where you turn on the radio and you go, I'm going to go to work and do something cool today. Right? It's very hard to find. Very hard to find.
Well, it's I even listen to indie rock right now, which, hey, indie, that's supposed to be your really creative outlet, for a lot of musicians. But the majority of it to me literally sounds the same from song to song, and all they're doing is rehashing the 80s right now. It all sounds like new wave with a little blend of 70s, and from song to song, band to band, you literally all sound the fucking same.
Right.
And just I'm like, man, come on. What is creative and what moves you? Why are you just rehashing the same old stuff? Where's something original here? And I'm not hearing it. I'm not. So
yeah.
Well, to make the correlation between music and whiskey, if you're not looking for something original in whiskey, you won't find it.
Right.
Because what gets shoved down your throat are the big boy distillers and everybody trying to find the same 12-year Dickel or 12-year Barton that's just in a different bottle with a different label, but it's all the same, and it's all the same. So you've got to do a little work. You've got to look a little bit. You've got to find outlets that you trust, like My Whiskey Den, that can direct you towards something different that is good.
Right.
Well, so my challenge out there as a distiller with interesting prospects on the horizon, for whatever that's worth, send me things that will inspire me, right? Send me something that's going to wake me up on Monday morning and go, I'm going to do that, but I want to do it in a liquid form, right? I want to match what you feel for music with what I can do with whiskey. And that's what's fun. Because if I can't do that, I don't want to do this anymore, right? I need that inspiration. I need that thing where I'm going to work and I'm an hour away from fucking home. I need something I can listen to and go, today, I'm going to do something cool. And it's going to be based on the feeling that this song gives me. And if I don't have that feeling and I don't have that song, there's no reason for me to continue on as a distiller, right? There's always got to be some inspiration in the world, some muse in the world that moves you and gets you to go on towards your fucking day. Whether it's a fucking Wednesday and it's Alan Bishop Day and all the fun stuff on fucking Facebook and all that shit, whatever. But what's the thing that comes out of this day? What's the thing that keeps me awake tonight when I go to bed and says, all right, Alan Bishop Day happened. There's a little ego boost that happens with all that shit. But what's tomorrow? What's going to wake me up and go, what can you do with the moment that you have right now in this day and this time that can inspire you to do something cool and something different that a year from now, we're talking about all this stuff again, right? And I don't see a whole lot of that in the music world. I don't see it happen. It's not out there. There's not anything. It's all the same regurgitated over and over. Nicki Minaj, fucking auto-tune, fucking here's a drum beat, here's a fucking, we shake our ass, we do this whole thing, right? But there's nothing that makes me wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to go kick ass today, right? There's no Pantera. There's no fucking Black Sabbath. There's no fucking Morrissey. There's no fucking Cure. There's no anything that means anything. Not really. Not in this material culture that we live in right now. And we need that. If we don't have the music that inspires the art in the future outside of music, then what the fuck's the point of living, right? What the fuck's the point of any of this stuff? If you don't have those things that get you up and get you going in the morning, and music is really what does that to you, right? Everybody nowadays listens to podcasts. Why do we listen to podcasts? Because we're bored with
music sucks.
music. Yeah, because we're bored with it, right? You can't get through an hour of music without going, oh, I heard that before, or that sounds familiar, or that's the same thing that such and such said back in 1988, right? We need a new Led Zeppelin. We need a new Black Sabbath. We need a new fucking everything, right? There has to be some conversation that moves life forward, some rhythm, some beat that moves life and inspiration forward. Or none of anything that we do matters whatsoever, all the way down to me making distillations to here's the 15th reboot of Spider-Man. How excited are you? Right?
Why do we need another Batman movie?
Right.
There's
and
another
why
one
do you
coming
got to bring
out.
fucking Michael Keaton back for it?
Why?
Right.
Right.
Because that was as exciting as it got was Michael Keaton playing Batman, right?
So
Why can't you
here-
recreate that?
Yeah, so here's my thing is like every generation since the 60s has rediscovered Led Zeppelin. Everybody has to go through that thing of like figuring out, hey, listening to and discovering Led Zeppelin and who they are and the impact they made, because it's just that freaking good. It's timeless. When we sat here the other week and we did our show where, like you were talking about, Kevin, we went through the top 10 from 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Who the hell's going to sit here a generation from now talking about who Cobra Starship is? Hell, I don't even know who
Nobody.
they are. That was
Yeah.
10 years ago. Nobody. And who from that top 10 list, besides maybe Adele, is anybody going to be talking about a generation from now?
Right.
Don't-
Any of that music?
Yeah,
Nobody.
the past
Really.
20 years.
And so,
There's nothing.
right.
Nothing.
Right.
Not really.
Who's your
No.
Zeppelin? Who's your Floyd? Who's your Sabbath? Who is making music that is going to become timeless, that generation after generation rediscovers? Because I think about like my period of going through high school, and I notice this with like almost every group that you get to high school, you reach a certain age, and all of a sudden it's like, bam, you rediscover the classics. You start learning who Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Bob Marley and the Rolling Stones and
Mhm.
all these people are, earlier on, you're listening to teeny bop music, whatever, and now all of a sudden you're rediscovering who the real musicians are. And it's like every high school class goes through that stage,
Mhm.
and then you grow into the music of your day. But
Right.
who is that now? Or 20 years ago or 20 years from now, you're gonna be listening to Nicki Minaj? I seriously doubt it. You're gonna be going, who the hell is that?
Right.
Right.
Just like
And-
if I try to bring up some one hit wonders and people from the 90s or whatever, that you're going to sit there and go, who the hell are they? But then you have your Nirvana, you have your Alice in Chains, you have your Soundgarden, you have the people from that time period that made a real impact, like, Tool and whoever, that we're still listening to today and people are still devouring. And I go turn on the rock station here, and that's the first song I hear is, Judith, A Perfect Circle. And that's been freaking, good gosh, 20 years ago or something that came out now. So
Mhm.
where's the new music today that's going to have that kind of impact? I don't see it, and I
Let's-
don't hear it. And that's the problem I have, I guess, with the whole music industry to a degree.
You can even take, and this is a fun one for me because I grew up as a metalhead, obviously in the middle of nowhere, trying to prove something to my parents and my grandparents and all this, right? You can even take something like the Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax fucking feud, right?
Mhm.
All right, and everybody likes Metallica. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody really in the world that didn't like at least a Metallica song. Correct?
Right.
Right.
Sure.
Slayer.
Everybody knows Enter Sandman. All right.
Yes.
They played in stadiums and everything.
Right.
Everybody knows that. Everybody's going to like that song.
Slayer's a little harder.
Yes, it is.
Anthrax maybe even a little harder than that, even though they started earlier. But you take a band like Megadeth. Show me one band, any one person in the industry, in the music industry, that had more to prove at this moment in time than Dave Mustaine had to prove his entire career, where the average person can go, I could have been something, but I wasn't, and still fucking did it.
Mhm.
And you can listen to every lyric that he wrote his entire life and go, I get it. And you can listen to all the bullshit he talked about his former band throughout his entire life and go, it's kind of fucked up that he doesn't admit to the success that he had, but at the same time, just any band that had something to prove,
Mhm.
right? There's not any of those. There's name me one band in this day and age that has something to prove to anyone else. All the way down, even, and Benjamin and I are both big fans of Maynard James Keenan.
Yeah.
Maynard has nothing to prove to anybody. He's got 3 successful projects, right?
Mhm.
There's nobody out there that's ever once been kicked out of some band that became famous and been like, I'm going to catch up. I'm going to catch up. I'm going to do this because I can.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's not out there. It doesn't happen, right? Because worse comes to worse nowadays, if you don't make it in the next Metallica, what do? Well, I went into IT, right? That's where you went to, right? I went to IT. No disrespect to IT, but it ain't music, right? There's no competition. There's no, I can sell more albums or as many albums as you can. There's no, I'm as good as you are without me or with me, right? It's a funny place to be in music when everything becomes a little bit of magic, a little bit of a wink and a nod, and I'm part of the Illuminati, and I'm part of this and that and the other, and you ain't part of it, and you wish you were, and it's very much they're selling you a false bill of goods. And that's the sad thing about music nowadays is everybody's selling you a very false sense of goods. Same thing with movies and popular culture and cultural in general, right? It's just it's all fake.
But one thing that I would
Right.
challenge with on that is we don't necessarily need to limit music to what, you know, somebody having a hit song or buying a ticket through Ticketmaster to go see them in some large theater or arena or stadium. Go local, go someplace local, listen to live music, listen to people that are playing there that, you know, may never have a chance in the world to be famous, and watch those people pour their soul into songs that they may be singing to 5 people. That's inspiring. That tells me that there are still people. They may not be anybody that anybody's ever heard of yet, but there are people there that are passionate about music, for being able to express themselves, their ideas, their passions, their tragedies, their triumphs, all through music. And there only may be a half dozen people there listening to it, and that's more than or watching us right now, but that's okay. That you're making a difference, and you're touching a heart, you're touching a soul in that process. And
absolutely.
I think that's, you know, when we're looking at music and saying there's just not that much out there anymore, you just have to look a little harder.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a good word.
I do agree with that. I just, maybe there's a little part of me that wishes, like, this is a good question for the entire group. Let's say that there's some modern day equivalent of Johnny Cash. All right. And that's far-fetched, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But does that modern day equivalent of Johnny Cash make the radio waves?
Nope.
Oh no.
No. I will say this: the closest
not a
person for
traditional
me to
radio.
that, the closest person for me to that is who Drew mentioned, Jason Isbell, and it's because of his songwriting with the lyrics. Growing up here in the South, especially in South Carolina, I have such a connection to what he writes and how he writes and expresses himself, and I have not seen that level of authenticity and honesty in lyrics in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That guy moves me. He's so far been about the only one. But do I hear him on radio? Hardly at all.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with somebody like Tyler Childers, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
May not agree with him on any political level, whatever, but he pours his heart out there. He pours his soul out there. And yeah, he's getting some attention, right? And, you know, all the way down to any personal level whatsoever, you know, all Yorn and all that stuff. You know, me and my wife, there's a little connection there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to hear that on anything mainstream. It's not going to happen. I mean, they may play it on your local radio, but they're not going to push it because it doesn't fit whatever agenda is out there nowadays, right? It's very hard to find somebody that can fit whatever you're feeling in your personal life plus whatever agenda is out there right now, right? It just, I guess it's like anything else. It's a little struggle to figure out what the world has become at this point.
Right.
What's mainstream media where you're going to hear radio anymore, though? You know, there's a lot of people that don't even listen to radio. I mean, they're listening to Spotify or XM or, you know, where are they consuming their music? There is no such thing as the top 40 radio station anymore, really.
Right.
Where are people hearing their stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's changed.
So that's kind of a cool little way to, I guess, kind of wrap this thing up before I jump off here because I've been on here for 2 hours now, and I apologize. Where do you guys hear new music? Somebody please tell me somewhere else to hear fucking new music that inspires me, because I'm out of options, truthfully. I mean, everything I got is, I'm literally that guy that you knew that was your uncle that was like, you know, the Beatles are better than everybody else. That's where I'm at this point in my life. So somebody please point me in some direction where I can hear something cool.
Only two places I've heard new stuff are people recommending or sharing playlists like Kevin does on Spotify.
Right. Yep.
That's a big one. Another one is listening to the NPR All Songs Considered podcasts. There's like 20 of them now, but some of them are really good because there'll be a mix and it'll be something just completely out there. And then other ones will be themed, but I'll hear something that's like, I've never heard this before. And something could be weird. It could be amazing. It could be the fact I didn't know somebody had an album out, but in a lot of cases, they'll get that out. You do have to deal with a lot of, some blowhard comments about it. But other than that, it's a good way to hear stuff. Because you're not going to hear it on the radio. You just won't hear it on the radio unless you have a public access radio.
Right. Legit for me, one of my favorite sources for new music, new to me, and it may be where other people have known or heard about it, Austin City Limits. Their shows. I have discovered so many fantastic artists through that I did not previously know about, or that I knew of but just wasn't real familiar with, and then watch a show and like, oh my God, I've got to get an album, you know. That for me has been a fantastic source.
Yeah, I love to do it on Instagram. People post on their stories all the time. I've got 5 or 6 people that I follow only because of their music recommendations. So anytime somebody shares a story, I click that link and I listen to it right away. And I found a lot of really good people. Yeah,
you're a big one for that.
Yeah,
always sharing some great stuff. So
yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
Release Radar on Spotify usually hits a lot of buttons for me because I think the algorithm looks at what your favorites are and what some of your playlists are that you've saved, and I think it sifts out some of the new releases based on your likes. Seems like it anyway.
Yeah,
and they'll have
a lot of new stuff from there.
Yeah, and they'll have like what's new in different genres of music, and it'll just be 20 different songs by 20 different artists, and you can kind of pound through that really quick and see if there's anything that sounds of merit. And usually I'll find 1 or 2 that's worth going back and listening to an album on. But you got to look. You it's just not going to fall in your lap anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm lucky enough. I have a 28-year-old who's in college, and she's got great musical taste, and she sends me stuff constantly. Here, listen to this. And most of it's crap, but no, not really. But there's a few gems that she sends me occasionally that are awesome.
Yeah. Well, and we will be doing a show. We will have both a music of the year show, which will have your typical album of the year, song of the year stuff, but then a couple other things too that I think will be of interest. And we will do end of the year whiskey of the year show as well, which will again have a little twist to it. So just a couple things.
I got one more question for all of you guys. Last question of the evening, as far as I'm concerned. Not trying to take over your show. I apologize.
Come on.
But again, trying to find inspiration. All right. So National Allen Bishop Day being over with, we're going into Allen Bishop Advent, all that stupid fun shit, whatever. All right.
Mhm.
Halloween season being what it is. All right.
Yeah.
Veil is thin. There's room for inspiration. There's room for fun. There's room for innovation. Okay. Going into the shadow season, as Young would say. One song from each of you to match this month until December. Where are you guys at?
I'll kick this off. There's an album by my favorite all-time artist, Rustin Kelly. It's called Halloween, is the name of the album. The song is called Black Magic. Check it out. You're a guitar player. He plays it in angel tuning, which is a real different way of playing the guitar. It's a breakup song, but also, a lot of other things going on there. It's musically fascinating, fits the tone and the vibe of the time. Highly recommend that. Check that out.
Nice. Who's next?
Anybody else?
All right.
The
I'll
Crow
throw mine out
soundtrack.
there.
I'm either
Crow.
going with the Crow. Well, you can give me the whole soundtrack, but either Burn from the Cure or Dead Souls with Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, yeah.
Either of those two songs. That is October, and I'll carry that all the way through December for me. Has been for a long time, and just that won't go away.
So mine is either could be a couple different things, but the main ones are No Quarter by Led Zeppelin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going into that dark period of time, and there's influences that are coming in that maybe are not necessarily positive or negative, just sort of sorting through them, and going about your day. And then Writing 2 by Tool. That's another one that's big this time of the year.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, me being a Chicago guy, it's got to be something but from Ministry.
Nice.
Some industrial,
Right?
Mm-hmm.
dark.
There you go, Dave.
Yeah.
For me, this time of year, next month would be is my anniversary. So a lot of reasons to think about that, but the one that always hits me, you guys talked about Rick Rubin on a recent show, but from the Johnny Cash Unchained album, he did Memories Are Made of This, and there's many things about that song that hit every single thing on there, and actually when we did our 10th wedding anniversary, we did a video for that and did it to that and to a few other songs, but that was kind of the pivotal song for that.
That's very cool.
Great tune.
Yeah.
Great
Very
song.
cool.
Mine's probably a really old one, but it's the Keith Jarrett Cone concert. If you've never heard that, Keith Jarrett was a pianist who showed up at this concert to play in Cologne, Germany, and the piano was out of tune, and he just ad-libbed the whole concert, and it's absolutely spectacular.
Wow.
Nice.
Just
That's
look
fun.
it up, Keith Jarrett.
Yeah, I really get into the Lonesome Jubilee by John Cougar Mellencamp.
All right.
Fucking love you, Kevin. I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah.
Don't let that go.
Who's your Excalibur?
Next thing you know is while he watches Larry Bird highlights, listening to Mellencamp.
Oh, that's next
1980
level.
Larry Bird.
An album that kind of fits that feel to me is the Who's Quadrophenia.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is something that I usually come back to a time or two a year at least, and usually I think this time of the year is a good fit for that. As um, the evenings get a little cooler and the leaves are falling off the trees, the general mood of that album uh, fits that type of season.
Yes.
And I it's just a fantastic album. It's possibly my favorite album of all time, and Andy Kasperzak and I kind of bonded over that. We had a moment. We came very close to singing "Love Rain or Me" while we were joining hands, but we didn't really get to that. But I would say that would be the album for me, Alan.
Nice. Well, I'll leave you with two last thoughts, and I'm going to get out of here because I've wasted everybody's time for 2 hours on Alan Bishop Day, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. What comes next for whoever's involved is Rush, Roll the Bones. 100%. That's what's around the corner, and there might be a little bit of AC/DC if you want blood.
Yeah.
Right. Just a little AC/DC in there. You gotta have it, right? So thank you guys very much for putting up with my bullshit on Alan Bishop Day.
Thank you for
Thanks for
joining us on Alan Bishop Day. And
Fucking stupid guys. I love you guys, but goddamn.
Yeah.
It's like celebrating Christmas with Santa.
You know, it's not just like celebrating Christmas with Santa. It's like celebrating Christmas with the Santa you never wanted to play Santa. The guy you went to high school with, where you're like, you see him as dressed up as Santa Claus, and you're like,
Billy Bob Thornton Santa.
Very much so. Fuck me, Santa.
Yeah, the
Santa,
drunk
fuck me,
mall
Santa.
Santa. You know, that guy that smells a little bad. You know.
Yeah. I would love to be the hero that you guys want, but I'm never going to be the hero that you guys actually need.
Well, maybe the hero we deserve.
There you go. You are the hero. You're the hero we all deserve.
All right,
So
so if we're closing things out, if you've got absinthe, get a little bit of that in your glass. But we want to. There you go. That works. Fashion
Or
needs some
Malort.
treat.
We got Malort too.
Lord, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the opposite, but okay, we'll let it pass
Bring
at this point.
I have La Petite Corbeau 155 proof, so we're gonna go with it.
I've got Malort.
Yeah. But as we're getting ready to leave, Drew, tell us about our next episode.
Yeah, well, we'll be joining next week. We've got a great episode for you guys talking Halloween and whiskey pairings with chocolate and candies all around. It's going to be a good time. We're talking Halloween music, spooky season music. So looking forward to joining you all then next Wednesday.
Yeah, that show got a little off the rails and deep in what I hope is a good way.
I think that was a great conversation. Yeah. I think that was just the tip of the iceberg for a deeper conversation further down the road too. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Either on or off the air. Either one. Ben, you got anything we need to plug tonight?
I know there's a few people still hanging on. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do that. Subscribe, leave a comment for us. You know, you guys have been great in the chat tonight.
Yep.
But thank you for tuning in and checking us out. But we'd love for you to follow. I think we're going to have some fantastic fantastic content coming out. So you want to be in tune for that. So please subscribe, hit that bell notification, stay locked in with us because you don't want to miss what's coming out, the music and the whiskey conversation.
If you're still hanging on at this point, just a little personal advice. You're probably going to want to go take care of whatever kissing of whatever area you need to. right? You're not going to be allowed to tune in next time. Just saying. Just saying. Trying to help you out.
Words of advice.
And that's a little too far.
Mhm.
Word.
So we are just to go back to what Ben was saying.
You're
we're-
welcome, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Alan.
Yeah.
We're recording shows this weekend. We've got one show we're recording with the guys from Monday Suck, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And getting their take on music, which I think they were very, very different in their musical tastes, and I think Jack especially is going to bring some stuff that will be very unique for us. And we're also recording a show that will be airing Thanksgiving week. That will be on WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes.
So that will be a ton of fun. We promise that no turkeys will be harmed.
God
in
is
the filming.
God
of
God
the
is
show.
my witness.
God is my witness. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Dave and Adina. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Jolie and Jolie's mom, and Alan, most of all. Thank you very much, sir. Mary, yourself, Day. And hey, till next time, cheers, love, free bird.
Free
Free
bird.
bird.
Free bird.
Love you.